What's up, and welcome back to my channel. That sounds so bad. Okay. So this is the first Warframe video actually on the channel, or probably. I don't know if I'll throw another one out there, but this is gonna be an Ember Prime kind of like, cause she was reworked, like I think it was about a month back, and they gave her a much more interactive kit. Kit. So it wasn't just putting on her fourth ability, which was previously Whirl on Fire, and just killing low-level enemies that didn't mean anything. Now she's a lot more interactive. So they gave her a combo counter for her first ability. They gave her damage reduction, which this ability is really cool and I really enjoy it. They gave her this ability, which strips armor, and that's really cool. And then they gave her Inferno. So Inferno, it basically, based on the amount of enemies in your range, it'll drop a meteor on them, and it'll drain energy per each enemy in your area. So Ember is pretty easy to get. I'll just show you real quick where you can go get her. So all you gotta do is go straight to Saturn, and on Tethys, you just fight General Sargus Ruck, and you get her pieces, and I believe you buy her blueprint in the market. Let me just double check that. Ember. Yeah, you can just purchase her blueprint for 25,000 credits. Keep in mind though, you do need an organ cell to build her, and I hate farming organ cells, so that's why I'm going over that. Now, for this build, I don't have an XLS adapter because I'm poor, so it doesn't require any forma, unless your mods are higher level, which, I mean, my Umbral Intensify is at max, my Prime Flow is 1 from max, and I believe everything else is max. So you might not even need a single format for this, even if they are maxed. Maybe one, but you could just change it to normal Intensify if you wanted to. But that out of the way, this build is a nice overall build to use. So you got, I don't have another mod for the aura slot. That's this polarity, so I just threw in Steel Charge because I love using melee anyways, so yeah. And then we have, starting with Hunter Adrenaline. This mod's really nice because all the damage she's taking in is being reduced by her second ability, and the mod just helps fuel her energy because you do need it to be, because you're going to constantly be casting her abilities. And then we have Vitality just for a little health, and then we have Streamline for the efficiency, Natural Talent. This is more of a, you can pretty much put anything in the slot, but I do like Natural Talent because it just makes our abilities feel more, they flow better, I guess. Prime Flow because I always love to have Prime Flow in there. Stretch because I like the little bit more ability range, but I was playing around. I don't know if I prefer continuity on here or Prime Continuity, because I have been trying it a lot, and I'm not sure which one I like more, but I'm like leaning towards the Stretch a bit more. And then you have the Intensifier, Umbral Intensify, whatever. You can throw any Power Strength mod here. That's actually not true. Don't be throwing like Blind Rage, Translucent Fortitude, or whatever it's called. So yeah, just throw an Intensify there, and then Healing Flame. This you can get from, I believe it's, I know it's Red Veil, but I think you also get it from Steel Meridian, and it's her third ability's Augment. So each enemy that you hit with your third ability, you'll heal 25 to 50 health. Keep in mind this does not apply to your shields. That's why I'm running Vitality and not something like Redirection, because she does have a higher shield pool, but it only heals her health and not her shield, so that's why I have Vitality on there. And this depends on your Immolation level. Immolation is second ability. The higher percentage it is, the better or the more healing you'll get. So, if you go more in depth into her abilities, this ability is Fireball is fine. It's not the greatest ability. I would not suggest using it unless you really need like a tiny bit extra damage and you don't have that much energy. Then we have Immolation. So when you initially cast it, it'll cost 50 energy, but with this build it's only 35, and it'll give you with this build it'll give you an immediate 50% damage reduction. Keep in mind this does have a cap of 90. With however much power strength you have, I do not think it goes above 90. So we have this damage reduction, and it starts at 50, and over time it'll slowly go up. But this has a lot of synergies. So if we start with her Fireball, you throw Fireball, and if you use it while this ability is active, then the bar will go up faster. And also keep this in mind, it's the initial cast of 50 energy, and it doesn't drain energy unless your bar is at completely full. And then if you go over to Inferno, it actually synergizes with Immolation as well, except every time you use it, it gets the bar to go up faster than Fireball will. Then we have Fire Blast, so slams the ground, whatever, and it creates this like ring of fire, and it spreads out. There's no like duration to it, but it'll just spread out over your range, depending on your range. And with Healing Flame, it obviously says this. Now I have a 33 to 66 healing, because a power strength does affect the augment, which is super cool. So any enemy that is hit will have it's a 50 to 100% armor reduction. I don't think it's bait. Nah, this is completely it's just random. It's 50 to 100% armor reduction. Armor reduction, and it's a super good ability. Also, this has another synergy with Immolation, where it gets rid of 20% of your Immolation. So let's say it's at 90, it'll go down to 70% damage reduction, and you might think, wow, this is horrible, I never want to use this ability. But when Immolation gets all the way to 90%, that's 7 energy drain every second is horrible. So what I like to do when I'm in game is I'll use Immolation. I'll maybe cast my 4 once, or twice if I need it fast, if I need my damage reduction faster, and then once it's 90 or like 85, I'll cast this ability to drain it by 20. That way I don't have this 7 energy cost. And if you don't have enough energy for it, and you really need the damage reduction, it's gonna turn off. So I suggest, if you don't have enough energy to use this ability and you're already low, just turn the ability off, because you just waste more energy. And then we finally have Inferno. Inferno, this is an amazing ability. Straight up amazing ability. It does so much damage, as you can see, 3,300 damage. Its radius is like straight up 25 meters. Same thing for her third ability. And that range is really, really good early on, or really, really good initially. And as you see, it says the drain is 0. If there are no enemies in your radius, this will drain 0 energy, but it will still bring up your Immolation bar. Keep that in mind. It'll still bring it up faster. And so with this build, it's 7 energy per target. So if you keep in mind this, with no mods on this, you can hit 10 enemies with this massive damage and still only use the 100 energy that that your fourth ability usually has. And then the damage per second right now is really high, and now I believe they changed fire damage. They might not have yet, but fire damage strips armor if they did change it. So yeah, and then we have our passive, which this is such a good passive. Receives 5% ability strength for every enemy within 50 meters engulfed in flame. this makes her kit so useful, because before it was like you gained energy or something when an enemy inflicted you with fire, or when you were inflicted with fire. um these status effects only last a few seconds, um meaning that your passive was not on a lot of the time and you were not going to get heat damage a lot of the time. So now it's a lot more interactive. Sorry about that. So now it's synergized with like every one of her abilities, because her first ability lights enemies on fire, her third lights abilities on fire, I believe it should. I mean, it's called Fire Blast. Yeah, it does. And then her fourth ability also lights enemies on fire. So you have so many things. I don't know if this caps. I'm pretty sure it doesn't though. I think it might cap at like 100 though. So you can just absolutely murder enemies, because the more enemies you have around you on fire from all your synergies with your other abilities, the more damage you're going to do, because you get the extra power strength. And if you don't put on Intensify, it'll also affect Immolation to give you that 90% damage reduction. Now, I'm going to show you the fashion frame real quick, and then we'll go into the simulacrum. So I have two looks. We'll start with this one. This one's like a normal like Ember fire kind of look. It's very basic. It's a black from PSIV. It's it's this white right here. It's like an off-white. But if you don't have this palette, you can just use this color, which I'm actually gonna do from the classic palette. And then again, black from PSIV, but you don't need PSIV. You can just use this color, even though it's a little lighter, but it won't make a difference. And then we have this color from the Shamrock, which I was debating, and this is like really hard to choose. I was debating using this like rosy color, and I like it a lot. I do. So yeah. And then the emissive, this is your energy colors. The only thing is that for this look, this is orange. Like straight up orange. You can use any orange. You can use the orange from this palette. You can use the orange from like this. Yeah, actually I'm gonna use this orange because it's brighter. Any orange. And then for this one, I don't have any attachments on because I really love her the Ember Prime armor. But for Cyandana, I really like the Pyro Cyandana, even though the Pyro Prime is a lot better. I just don't have it. So if you have the Pyro Prime, throw that on there. It looks beautiful, but the Pyro does do. And then the second look, this look is very flexible. So you have the black, and then for me, I like the purple, but you could throw any color out here, it'll look great. Like for example, you have where's a teal? Like a light blue, a teal, and stuff. You can pretty much throw any color, and then it's black. And then this really got me like kind of like upset. Not upset, but like it made me not like this look at first. So it's white for your metallic. So because it's white for your metallic, it's really it's silver, right? So it's very like in your face. So if you really want to, like you have a certain color that'll match, you can go with gold, you can go with a rose, you can pretty much go with anything if you do not like the white. And then again, for your emissive and your energy, just go with whatever color your secondary is, and it'll look absolutely beautiful. Again, no armor, and the Pyro Cyandana, Pyro Prime is gonna be better. I prefer this look. We're gonna jump into the simulacrum. Okay, we're in the simulacrum. Get our energy, and we're gonna showcase each of her abilities. So I'm gonna pause the AI. I really need to start scanning stuff, cause like, let's see, we'll find something with like, let's go to like Grenier, yeah, Grenier, and we'll go with like sure, we'll go with like a Frontier Lancer Eximus. I don't need 20. We'll go with 1. Okay. Sorry, because I'm an idiot. Let's get this Frontier Lancer going. And, okay. So let's start with her first ability. Her first ability, you can just cast it, right? It'll do some fire damage. But you can also hold it. It'll do more damage. This guy is just dying. God, I'm bad at videos. So we'll just spawn another one. But if you keep in mind this too, it has a combo counter. So if you see, if I just keep casting it, it caps at 8 though, okay? So just know that. The combo counter, it'll just make it do more damage, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. Now we're gonna go with her second ability, and I'll show you the combos with it. So I'm gonna toss on Immolation, and I just see there's a little bar in the bottom right hand of my screen, right above my ammo and my abilities, and you can see it starts at 50 and it slowly goes up. Okay, so but if I cast my fireball, you see it going up faster. And if I cast my fourth ability, it'll go up even faster. And keep in mind, the more I cast these abilities, the faster and faster it'll go up. But once it gets to 90, you can see my energy start to drain. And it's gonna drain 7 energy per second. And that's gonna hurt a lot. Okay, so at this point, what I would do is this ability. Even though it's going to keep going because of how many times I cast that fireball. We're going to come over here. That was dumb, okay. And if you do this, bam, you knock the enemy down and you inflict them with fire and it strips some of their armor. And you can see it stripped all of this guy's armor. So you can keep casting it and it'll keep bringing your bar down, as you can see, by 20%. Yep. By 20%. But keep in mind this, it won't go below the minimum, right? So it'll start with 50 and it will never go below 50, no matter how many times I cast it. Okay? Then again, you just flew off. So that is that ability. And we're gonna go back, and this time we're gonna get another Grenier, and we're gonna grab this guy, and we're gonna 19 because the other one apparently didn't die. Cool. And we're gonna watch. So if I'm over here, they should be out of my range. Just kidding. Oh, got it. So everybody should be out of my range now. So you can see I'm casting it, and it's not doing any damage. Or it's not draining any energy. Okay. Now, if I go over here, I'm losing energy. Okay. That visual. Now, if wow, I love that just ring. Yeah, it's so cool. Now if I cast my 2, and then I throw on my 4, you can see that it does start going up. And it goes up faster. Okay, now this is really good. Because it gives Ember more survivability, and it gives her a ton of damage. Let me go get a different enemy. Let's take this off. And we're gonna get that starting button. We're gonna kill enemies. And we're gonna grab something like a little ancient healer. We don't need 20. Good. I'll grab like 3. Yeah. And they might clear status, but if we look, I'm gonna cast my immolation just to show you, and then I'm gonna put on Inferno and I start taking fire damage. Keep in mind these are level 90s, and for my 1 ability, and this cost me about 20 energy to do all 3 of these. And if you look at the duration keeps the fire on longer. But I almost killed every single one of these enemies. So they don't have any armor, so this ability is pretty useless. But if I do it again, you can see the initial 3k damage, and then the burn is like 16k per tick, or not 16k, 1600 per tick. So that's really nice because it gives her the ability to do a ton of damage. So now let's unpause AR and get a whole bunch of like these like Frontier Lancers. Level 90. I'm gonna activate this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this ability so I can get the damage reduction, and I'm just gonna go to town. I'm gonna strip some of their armor, knock them down, and you can see I'm very survivable, even though my immolation is only at 60%. And I also have the ability, I have CC, so it's like a combination of her old accelerant, which knocked enemies down, and it strips their armor. And then all the fire damage is just absolutely insane. They take a ton of damage. Strip some of that armor. And it's super easy to stay alive. Even in scaling missions, like, you could easily run sorties with Ember and not die. Easily. And you see my immolations at 90%. Bring it down to 70. And when, a little thing when you're casting, your immolation. Obvious, your fireball, you do not want to use it. You just straight up do not want to use it when you have immolation turned on. I do not see a circumstance where you would, but all it's gonna do is make your bar fill up quicker when your fourth ability will drain no energy if no enemy is in range and bring it up faster. Okay, so when I cast Fireball, it doesn't. First of all, it doesn't do that much damage, and it'll drain a little bit of energy. But there's no enemies here, and I can just do my 4, and you can see how much faster the bar goes up. Okay, and it uses 0 energy if no enemy is around for your 4, and it brings your bar up so much quicker. And it's just, so when you have immolation turned on, if you have it turned off, fine, go ahead. If you really want to, you could charge up a fireball, and then you can like set it off, fine, whatever. And you can actually get higher if you charge it up, but you have to be very quick with it, right, to get anything anywhere. So I wouldn't, fireball is like, it's a fine ability. If you really want to set someone on fire, and you have, it's a little AoE, and if you really need to set someone on fire to get that your passive going, then fine. But it's the ability that isn't that great in her kit. But the thing about that is it's fine because her second ability is great, third ability knocks down, strips armor, that's great, and her fourth ability destroys everything, right? So she's super good. I would highly recommend her, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, thank you. Peace out.